Now that it's the middle of winter, I can make a video that I've been wanting to make for some time, and it is specifically about gathering medicinal herbs in the wintertime, or at least after the fall season and before the spring reawakening. We are all familiar with how deciduous trees in the fall will drop their leaves and they become bare branched just like these. It's just a common process. Everybody knows about that. What a lot of people don't realize is that part of that process is that the leaves on the branches are actually taking the nutrients that are held by the green chlorophyll and the green pigments, and those nutrients are being shunted through the branches down into the roots of the trees. And those nutrients are being held in the roots throughout the winter. Now, the pigments that remain are the pigments that are red, yellow, and orange. And some other colors as well, but mostly red, orange, and yellow. So that's why you get the beautiful fall foliage on a lot of these trees, because the green pigment has been shunted down to the roots and stored there, leaving the other pigments visible. Otherwise, during the rest of the year, during the spring and the summertime, the green pigments are predominant, and that is what you see in the leaves. Now, what is important to know, this process that we can understand through what we all know of autumn foliage is the same process that happens with medicinal herbs. So what I have here is a bunch of woolly mullein plants. These plants are highly medicinal. I've talked about them in other videos already, so I'm not going to go over that again. But the roots are included among the parts of the plant that people can use medicinally. So what we see here is these plants grew from seed this past year. They created this above ground presence, and all year long these plants have been manufacturing pigments and manufacturing different nutrients using water and nutrients that the roots have pulled up from the ground and sunlight that is bombarding from above. And it combines all of those to create very specific nutrients and plant chemicals that are present in the leaves. Now that it is winter, you see all these dead leaves around it, and the ones that are green look really wimpy. That's because many nutrients have already been shunted down into the roots and are being stored below the ground. Over here, I want to show you, these are the dead flower stalks from mullein plants that bloomed this last year. So the roots are over here. The plant grew up tall and straight, lots of beautiful leaves. Now all the leaves are dead and hanging from this ugly looking branch. There's the flower head up in here. And the plant has fallen over. There's several others. So mullein is a plant, woolly mullein is a plant that it only grows for 2 years. The first year it will have the just a cluster of leaves like this at ground level, and then the second year it will send up the flower stalks. Once the flower stalks have done their job and they die in the fall, this entire plant dies, including the root. So for this one, there is no more nutrient storage below the ground. However, for these, there is an amazing amount of nutrient storage below the ground. So for the medicinal use of this plant, during the spring and summer and early fall, gather the healthy above ground leaves and use them for their benefit. However, if you have a need for the root, and it is not an immediate need, you just want to store it for later use, for when you will need it later, wait until the plants die back and then harvest the roots. This will be true for all medicinal roots that you might harvest. This is also true for garden plants. Although we've developed other palettes, our palette now says that we should harvest carrots at a certain time so that they are tender and crunchy, and we have different things that we look for. But even our garden plants, our root vegetables, if we leave them in the ground until the top has died back, they will be much more nutritious. So that is what I wanted to present. I hope that I presented it clearly, and I would love to hear any feedback that you might have on this video.